How is everyone doing? Can you hear me okay? Let me know. Let's make sure everything's typing out really good. Hello. I try to lower the screen so I can get more of a full shot. Hopefully it doesn't glitch. Hello, hello. All right, everybody's good. All right. Well, I received a couple of people's homework submissions. Hey, loud and clear. That's good. So I wanted to go over a little bit of that. So before we get started, we'll have a little bit of a review, and then I want to talk to you a little bit about sign language, of course, and then we'll move on to our new material that we have. So going over your homework, I asked you to submit a video. You can now submit a video to connectingsignsaugusta@gmail.com. That makes it a little bit easier to remember. And you can also post it on Instagram and send me like your page. I can look on it. However you want to get it to me, I don't mind at all. But your homework is crucial to do because I can figure out, where you might be struggling at, your thought process in the language. Sign language is a little bit different because there's many different kinds. And then with American Sign Language being here in the States, sometimes we'll borrow some English things out of it. And so what ends up happening is that we try to marry American Sign Language with English. And we have to remember that both these languages are completely different. So a lot of times that's correct, connectingsignsaugusta@gmail.com. So you can email your homework there. So a lot of times when we are learning this language, we want to compare it back to English. So what is the sign for this? Or what word does this sign represent? And we have to remember that sometimes there's not a direct translation between the two. And also, we have to really start to think and put our mindset on what really makes English a language as well. So when you're going from your language to another language, you have to know what we do to make sure that we know what to do in the other language. So an example, what we'll talk about a lot in this class is something called prosody, which is how a language actually, I like to say, vibe. We can kind of figure out what somebody's going to say based on how we use our sentence structure. So I can say something like, hey, have you had a good, and then you would probably say, have I had a good day? You can kind of guess what I'm going to say because of the way I set it up. And that's imperative because sign language has its own prosody, how it sets things up. And if we don't learn the rhythm and how to set something up, then we'll get lost in actually being bilingual, being in two languages. So probably the number one thing I saw in the homework was things like, hi, how are you, my name, and then you would spell your name, and then you would say, nice to meet you. Well, that's great, but sign language and English don't necessarily have a one-to-one ratio. As you can tell, I can say a lot of words a lot faster than I can sign them. So a lot of times there's not as many signs to go with sentences because it literally takes more physical energy to sign. So a lot of people try to equate having a lot of vocabulary with being a very good sign language user, when it's not true. Just because somebody has a lot of vocabulary doesn't necessarily mean they have complete comprehension of what they're talking about or their communication in general. So when we start to get into this language, I want you to think about this concept of introducing yourself. So when I'm out and about in the community and I go to introduce myself, depending on who I'm talking to would be kind of how I sign back. And we do this in English a lot. We call this register. Are we in a consultative style register where I'm maybe a physician talking to a patient, or am I a friend talking to another friend? So sometimes you'll see somebody sign more if they're trying to be a little bit more formal. So if I'm meeting somebody and let's say we're not equals, I hate to say something like that, but let's say that they're at a teaching role and I'm at a student role. So I might not go up to my teacher and be like, hey, what's up? Your name, I wouldn't have that kind of consultative, I wouldn't have that kind of talk. I would say something like, hello, I'll be a little more formal. Hello, my name, and then I would spell my name. And I would say, well, it's nice to meet you. What's your name? But if you are in more of a comfortable with your friends, you might say something like, and then you would sign your name back, and then I'll be like, so what did I say? I did this. Anybody, if you are able to type for me, what did I just say? Anybody? I'll wait a couple of moments here. So what did I say? Anybody? Thank you. Very, very good. I said, I'm Mario. I didn't necessarily say, well, that's your name. That's good. My name is Mario. That's a little bit more formal. I could just go straight to, okay? So I want you to start taking the liberty of not worrying so much about matching a word to a sign. So when I say something like nice to meet you, I don't need to sign nice to meet you. And why is that? Because classifiers, which is what's used to create a visual representation, I'm saying the sign nice, but then I'm saying, well, this is you, this is me, and we've met. So I don't need to say nice to meet you. I can just say, okay? Or I can just say, okay? So that's why I want you to, that's my commentary on the homework that I saw. So once again, a very good job, especially after only one class. So I do congratulate everybody on doing such a good job and people taking the initiative to look for different signs to make the conversation more full. So I do thank you for that. All right, so let's review what we went over last week, or 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry, last week was Mother's Day. And then we're going to get into some new things. So if you have any questions for me, you can type it really quick. I'll try to get to them before we get to our new things. But last week, of course, we started talking, we went over our alphabet, and we went over the 5 parameters of sign language. So how many of you have been practicing your finger spelling? One of the things I will give you as a reminder in finger spelling is make sure that it is right out in your signing space. In some of your videos, I saw it out here. And what makes that challenging for someone reading your sign language is I'm trying to read your hand and I'm trying to read your face at the same time, because, and we'll talk about this a lot more, your face and your facial expressions gives what's known as a functionality to your language. It gives functional things. So in English we have contextual words and functional words. So functional words are like your prepositions. The ball is in the house. The dog is outside. It shows you a setup. So you soften or you tell different things in your face. So if you are signing way out here and I have to look at your hand and then I have to look at your face, then I'm going to have a disconnect on figuring out what it is that you're trying to express to me, because the meaning of what you want to say is inside of your face and your hands and in your body language in regards to sign language. So please make sure when you finger spell, make sure it's right next to essentially your face so I can look at both things at the same time. Because there's going to come a part when you're signing where you have to go out of signs to actually spelling. So especially like if I'm naming a place. So if I'm going out to eat at a restaurant and I don't know the sign for that restaurant, then you'll see something like, okay? So you don't want to have to reset your sign and sign way over here and then come back over here to finish signing. Okay? Does that make sense? Everybody understanding okay? Let me know. That's another thing in language. If I could see you back at me, I would see like your head nodding. All right, some people in my class, I might see them going like this, but I know I need to get up in their face. So let me know every now and then in a comment that you're understanding what I'm saying so I know what's going on. All right, so we went over also our basic signs. Thank you so much. So we went over basic signs and our question signs too. So let's go over those really, really quick, okay? So we had signs like, all right, I need you to be next to your keys because I'm going to give you a sign. So I'm going to express a sign. I want you to tell me what that gloss is, what we can equate it to an English word. So if I say something like this, if I'm saying this, what am I saying? What's that sign? So I need you to be typing for me, let me know. So I give you that one, and let me give you a second one while you're getting your typing on, and it's translating over. So the first one was, yes, very good. Thank you very much. The second one, if I said something like this, what's that one? What's that one? Don't use your books. So while you're typing that one, this one again, very good. That one's please. How about this one? How's that one? What's that one? So yes, the second one was please. What's the third one? Very good. Sorry, or I'm sorry. Very good. All right, Van. I like the answer. I'm sorry, and sorry is fine too. But I'm sorry reminds you that when I sign and I don't put a person reference up, that I'm talking to about myself. So that's always understood. So it's always understood that you're talking in now, present being, and then also that you're talking in first person. Rarely, if ever, normally really never, do we talk in third person in sign language. That's something we try to be really abstract in English, where we'll say things like, well, somebody came in today. I don't know who it was, somebody. We like to do a lot of being vague, which is very contrary to sign language. Sign language is very to the point. So never really will you see me sign something in third person because I'm wanting to be direct. So unless the speaker purposely wanted to be indirect and I had to relay that, then you'll see signs like somebody or somewhere. You'll see more of those vague signs. Does that make sense? So everything is very to the point. Okay. All right, let's do a couple more. I see a couple people coming into the session. All right, what was this one? Everybody in every language needs to know this one. Okay, what's that one? What's that one? All right, while you're doing that one, I'll get your last one. Good, restroom. Restroom, toilet, yeah. Yep, bathroom, toilet, good. So let me ask you this. When would it mean restroom? When would it mean bathroom? That's going to be an interesting question. When would I say that this meant restroom? Anybody? That's an interesting question. There is a English sign for restroom. It's very English and not always used. Good. Well, someone said, okay, you're giving me context. So context is correct-ish, but I wanted to be a little like you are being more good. That's what I like. If I'm being more formal. So if my deaf person, if I was in an interpreting scenario and my client was in like a teaching role or a student role, and my client said something like, I would not vocalize where's the toilet because that is not how we say that in English. In English, we would say something like, where is the restroom? I need to go to the restroom. If I was in a more relaxed environment, then I might say, where's the bathroom? Most families say, where's the bathroom? But I would never vocalize that to mean toilet unless a plumber was being called and you were talking about an actual toilet. And in that case, to make it mean toilet, this is more of an advanced question, but I'm curious to see who would know this. How could I actually make it mean toilet? Anybody? How can I make it mean toilet? Anybody on that one? How can I make it mean toilet? So I need to tell the kids to go clean the toilet bowl. How would I make that mean toilet? How would I make this sign mean toilet? Sign toilet and use a place mark to show an object. Very good. Signing the object space. Very good. So in order to create a sign and then give it a function, then you have to give it a classifier. And you can give it a non-direct classifier or an iconic classifier. We'll talk about that more as we go on. So in this case, I can say something to the kids like, okay, so you would create an object or a space for it, and then that would mean, I would not say clean the restroom. I've actually made a toilet to clean. So good job. I like how y'all must be doing some extra study in there, and I like that a lot. All right, so any other questions for me? Once again, I told you that in conversation, I need to know head nods. So every now and then throw me a thumbs up, and if you have to throw me a thumbs down, if you have to, let me know, or put something I didn't quite understand that, because I can't read your facial expressions back. I can only see your context of your words. So let me know how everything is going out there. All right, and let's hit the questions really quick, and then we're going to move on to new signs. So remember, what was this sign? All right, what was that sign? What was that sign? Very good, very good. Who? So that was an older sign. Who? Good, good, very good. All right, what was this sign? What was that one? That one you had to really be paying attention to the video 2 weeks ago for that one. I gave you that one extra. So you might remember that one. That was a little bit newer. Good, good. Someone got it. What? So that was what, or also what. Good, 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 good. All right, let me give you another one. What was that one? What was this one? How? Good, good. How? So formally, once again, we're talking about registers today. If I was to be more formal, then you might see something like how. But normally it's just signed how. And it's not even that this is informal. It's just now it's shorter. So you'll see how and you'll see how. Okay, just a couple more. Now we're off of questions. What was this sign? What was this sign? What was this sign? You definitely need to make sure you know this sign. What was this sign? What was that sign? Good. Deaf. D-E-A-F. D-E-A-F. Good, 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 good. And then this one would be? Good. I didn't say if you're deaf or hearing. But this one now is what? Good, good. So this one is what? Hearing. Good. And let me ask you this question. What also can this mean? This is a little bit, oh no, you're okay. You don't have to apologize for that. What can this also mean? And it's harder to think about this, but if you set up a context and you're at an event and I say something like this, then this could be also the sign for what? Not saying. I would say or talk, speaking, yeah. So it still means hearing, but what's another synonym for hearing in a context of deaf culture? This is a little bit more of a challenging question. It's kind of layered. I'll give you just a second, then I'll tell you. So it still means hearing, but think of it in a deaf perspective. If you see this, then what do you think this might mean, maybe in regards to an event? Okay. Yeah, I know it's a little bit harder. Sound, you're getting closer. Speaking deaf person. Okay, oral, I think that's what you mean on that one. Listen. Okay, no, you're thinking. Not bad at all. This can also mean, there you go, we're using voice, so you're getting closer, but I'll go ahead and give it to you. This can also mean public, the public, because in deaf world, remember that if you're not at Gallaudet or an actual deaf event, majority of the time, your crowd is hearing. So when you see something like this can also mean public. So it's a public event or a public place. So you'll see deaf, hearing, and you also see public. Okay? I know that's a little bit of a challenging one. All right, so and let's see. All right, so that finishes that. So let's get to some new material today. Anybody ready for some new material? Give me a thumbs up. Keep letting me know that you're here. So some new material. So today we're going to go over day and time signs. If you want to join me, I'm on page 42 of your book. Remember, your book is Learn American Sign Language by James Guido. And we are in page 42. All right. All right. Yes. All right. So let's start off. Okay. So the first sign that we have. Nice. I'm glad everybody's there. So yeah. See. All right. So yesterday. Okay. So remember when we talked about our 5 parameters? It's hand shape, location, movement, facial expression, and then palm orientation. So all 5 of those have to hit in order to make a sign work. So give me an A hand shape. You're going to put it up by your mouth to the side. You're going to go from here and you're going to take it back. So you see yesterday, and then your place of reference, if you go forward, is tomorrow. Some people do sign yesterday with the Y, and that's fine. A lot of times, not anytime, excuse me, there's a lot of times where sometimes the English letter will be in front of a sign, incorporated into it. We call that an initialized sign. And a lot of times, an initialized sign means that we borrowed a word out of that language. So if you see this will only mean yesterday, okay? But like the other day, I might do that, but this is more of an ASL sign, yesterday. So you'll see yesterday or you'll see yesterday. You also see tomorrow. So yesterday, tomorrow. And then if you have a series of tomorrows, then this sign would be, can anybody think about that? So if it's tomorrow, if every day is tomorrow, then what do you think this could mean? If I just go tomorrow. Anybody? So tomorrow. What do you think that could mean? Good. Daily. So every day or daily. Yes, each day, every day. Very good. So daily. So you have tomorrow, daily, yesterday. You got that? All right. And all right, so then the next part is I want you to take your non-dominant hand. Your non-dominant hand is going to represent like a horizon, okay? So the sun can come up, the sun can be straight, the sun can start to fall, the sun can be hidden by the horizon. This is the concept that I want you to see, because remember, sign language is very, very visual. Everything is about creating a visual representation. So if I have a one-hand shape and it goes straight down, then this could implement the sun up and then it came down. So what do you think this sign would be? Sun was up and then it came down. This represents a what? Anybody? What would that sign be? Okay, good. That would be day. So because this is a one-hand shape, you probably guessed it. I can say 1 day, I can say 2 days, I can say 3 days. We haven't learned our numbers yet. 4 days, 5 days. All right. If I change my palm, remember I said that in sign language, you have to make sure that all your parameters fit in such a way that it represents a sign. So if I change that from a one hand shape to an open hand shape, and I just go like this, then this would mean, can anybody guess what this could mean? So if this was day, and I changed it to an open hand shape, and I just went here, then this could represent what? So, what do you think that, very good. This will be all day. So, someone said tree falling. It could be a tree falling if I had said tree first. So if I signed tree and then I said, then it would have meant tree falling. But because I didn't give that first, that movement, this showed day, and this open hand just meant all day. So today, I worked all day. Okay? You'll see that. Very good. All right, so the sun comes up. This would be the sign for what? If the sun was coming up, what would this be the sign for? What's that one? Sun. Very good. That would be morning. All right, so now I like to be a little bit functional when we're learning sign and not just sign after sign. So what was this the sign for? Or what do you think this could be the sign for? So what do you think that could be the sign for? What could that be the sign for? What could that be a sign for? Eat. Good. So if I signed, what did I just sign? The English word, what did I just sign? What would that be? Breakfast. Good, good. So, very good. So that's how you do that. So the sign for breakfast in ASL would be eat in the morning. And then you probably guess it. I can eat at noon, and that would be the sign for lunch. And I can eat at night. That would be the sign for dinner. So morning, noon, night. So I can eat in the morning, I can eat at noon, or I can eat at dinner, or eat at night, which would be dinner. There are English signs for it, and I have seen them. I don't personally use them a lot, but if you're interpreting, your client uses it, then you're good. But you will see something like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You'll see that too. It's that eat handshake. That handshake can then modify to English when we borrow a word. So we can see breakfast, we can see lunch, and we can see dinner. But historically, it was signed eat morning, eat noon, and eat in the evening. Okay. All right, let's also think if I wanted to say good morning. Did you remember the sign for good? So I can say good morning, but it would be a little stutterish if I said good morning, because once again, I'm using English. So a lot of times when you see good morning, you'll just see good morning. It'll just blend right into the sign. Good morning. Good morning. A lot of times you'll see if someone has something in their hand, you'll see good morning. So it just blends, good morning. You won't see good morning. That would be instituted as being a little bit choppy. So good morning. All right. So you got that so far. All right. So now we had our horizon, right? So this was all day. Then this would be all what? If this was all day, then this would be all what? Okay. While you're thinking of that, I'm going to also take you to this sign, which was noon. If I turn it and go down just a little bit, then what sign is that? Okay, good. Someone got this one. So this was all night. Good. This was noon. Then what was this sign? What would this sign be? So noon, what's this one? What's a little bit past noon, but not quite evening? What would that be? What would that one be? Afternoon. Good. So you have day, all night, noon, afternoon, evening. All right, and then one last one I'll give you, the number 12. So if you'll do that with me, give me a 2 handshake, turn it backwards. Put your thumb in and flick up, 12. If I go 12 here, what do you think this would mean if I sign this? And then what do you think this would mean if I sign that? So if I did this versus this, what am I signing? Noon, good. And then this one would be, what would that one be? Good, midnight, good. So noon and midnight. Y'all are doing excellent. All right, so are you good? Midnight's down, good. Noon is up. So you're starting to see how this sets up. So let me give you, let's keep it right moving. So if I have, if you've seen a calendar before, all right, so a calendar, and it's on your wall, and you have your days of the week at the top, all right? You have your Sunday, and you go all the way through till Saturday, okay? That calendar we can depict on our non-dominant hand. So take your non-dominant hand, all right, and then give me a one-hand shape and slide right across it. So if I have a series of days across my calendar, then this sign would be what? Series of days across the calendar would be what? Okay, while you're thinking of that, if I had my calendar and I implemented it like this and I went straight down, then that would implement what? So straight across would be week, good, a row of days going from side to side. And then if you covered all the days in your calendar, then this would be what? So this was week, this would be month, good. Once again, this hand shape is a one hand shape. We'll go over our numbers soon. So this would mean 1 week. Of course, this would mean 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And some people turn it to go 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, and that's fine. So 1 week, 2 week, or you can go 1 month, 2 month. Now check this out. If I go like this, what would this mean? Okay? Don't think so much as in how many times I did it, but what am I showing visually? What would this mean? If I kept moving this sign, what would that mean? And then as you're thinking of that, what would this mean? Good, you're getting it. So this would be every week. So, all right, you'll see that every week. Or something you might pay every month, you'll say something like this. All right, that would be monthly. Good, so weekly, monthly. All right, I'm gonna take you to science class really quick. For those who like science, I want you to have your non-dominant hand. This is gonna represent the sun, okay? And the earth travels around the sun one time. That would be what? What would that be? Earth travels around the sun one time, that would mean what? What would that mean? So you have week, month, good, year. And a lot of times year, you'll start to see it condensed down to yearly. You'll see yearly. You'll see next year. You'll see something like last year. Okay, so once again, we talked about functionality, how a language is dressed up. So in English, we use prepositions a lot. So we can say, or adjectives, adverbs, we'll say something like, well, last week, okay, or last week, okay, that's how we say it. But in regards to sign language, I can blend signs a lot, where I can say last week. I can put it all in one sign. So last week, or I can say, what would that be if I did that? So in English, you'll see something like this, but in sign language, you'll see this. What would this mean? What would that one mean? So last week, what would that one mean? Next week, good. You got that? So next year, last year. You'll see it blended into the sign itself, all right? You learned a lot of science so far. Are there any questions? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you're good. Give me a question mark if you lost a little bit. If you have a question, feel free to type that really quick. We covered almost everything we need to cover so far. Okay, we'll give you a little bit more vocabulary, and then I'll show you how to set it up. Okay, that's the biggest part. Okay, so good. I saw that heart go by. Thank you. All right, so the next one are the days of the week. All right, so in your days of the week, it's going to be a handshake. All right, and it's going to have a movement. So we'll start with Monday. So Monday, if you think about maybe a clock, all right, as the hours go by and by, that's finishes a day. That's how I think of it. So I have Monday, I have an M hand shape, and I can take it and go in a circle. So this would be Monday. We used to see Monday a lot, but the issue with Monday is that you can barely see that I have my thumb in between here. So between Monday and flash forward to Saturday, then there's not much of a difference between these two. So a lot of times now you'll see the palm out. So you'll see Monday, you'll see Saturday. So you'll see either Monday, sometimes you'll see Monday like this, or Monday like this, but it's the concept of being able to see the M and see it circle. So Monday, a T handshake would be Tuesday, a W handshake would be Wednesday. We're borrowing these words from English. Thursday, T's already being used, so we go Thursday, TH. Some you'll just see go straight to the H. So sometimes you'll see Thursday or you'll see Thursday. And then Friday, it's more comfortable to sign Friday with the hand backwards. That's why a lot of times you don't see Friday, you see Friday. It's always about being most comfortable when you sign. And then Saturday, a lot of times you'll see it turned. And then Sunday is a actual cultural sign, because here in the States, we observe Sunday as being a wonderful day. So this is a sign for wonderful. So we take wonderful and we modify it and go around, and now this is Sunday. Not all places sign Sunday like that, but it is pretty much national to see Sunday like that. I've seen Sunday like this before out in the Alabama area, but typically you'll see Sunday. All right, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Once again, that concept of blending what you mean in regards to like a prepositional phrase or setting it up. If I did something like this and I went straight down, then what do you think this would mean? So this is my M, and I circle it meant Monday, but why is it if I went like that? What do you think that would mean? If I go like that. So I went Monday, but then I went straight down. Why do you think I did that? What can that implement? Every Monday. Good. So every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday. Okay? You got those? All right. So you took care of the hard part. Now you know all your signs for your days and times. Let me just make sure I gave you all of them. The very last one to give you is time, in regards to what time it is. So this is time, of course. All right, and this is one thing you have to remember is in English, we use our numbers differently. So we typically have what we call ordinal numbers and cardinal numbers. So normally it's only used one of two ways. You're either counting something or you are saying a ranking, first, second, third, or fourth. That's typically all we see, either one or once or first, two or second. But in sign language, numbers are used in many different ways. So we can describe objects. We can say there's 3 books. We can say books 3. Or we can say something is 3% off or cheaper. Or we can say money, $5 or $5, 25 cents. So the way that numbers move is depending on what is being used. So in regards to time, every time you use a number differently in sign language, it typically carries a different movement. So in time, we would have something like time, and you would shake the number to implement time. So if I was saying that it was 3 p.m., you would see 3, and then you might see p.m. or p.m. evening. So you'll never just see 3 p.m. If someone asked you what time it is, you would not respond 3 p.m. That would be informal or incorrect English. If we were to say it in English, that would be incorrect signing, and it would be misunderstood. If you said someone you had 3 and then you never signed dollars, then it would be misunderstood. You have to make sure you have the appropriate movement to match what the number is. So once again, if you see this, then I'm implementing what? Time. So this is 3 p.m. All right, if I said something like the total was $3.25, I couldn't go $3.25 because that would be misunderstood. Does that make sense? So once again, anytime you sign time, you have to shake to go with it. So 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, time 12. If it was noon or midnight, you can't shake 12. So the fact that you did time first would implement time on that one. But if you can shake the hand, you want to make sure you do that. Okay? So that's everything in a nutshell. I know that was a lot. Were there any questions about that? Because if there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to set it up in a sentence. So let me know if you got any questions. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know. My phone is going off like crazy. Let me make sure someone wasn't trying to get on. All right, we're good. All right. All right, so we got all the signs for today. Any questions on them? All right, y'all still there? Give me a head nod. Give me something. All right, so now let's talk about how to put this all into sentences, into what I call prosody, how we set it up to make it mean something. Once again, some people came in a little bit later on in the class. When we talk in a language, if we were in English, remember, I set up my words in such a way that you're used to hearing it. So if I say something like, hey, how was you would probably guess I would say, how was your day? All right, so we have to make sure that we set up our sign language so that we're not focusing so much on English, we're focusing on what is actually being said, the meaning. All right, in order to do that, we have to set up our sentence structure as such. So once again, I said that when we sign, what's understood is that we're signing in first person and that we're signing in now time. So if I need to sign that I have a test next week, how would I sign I have a test next week? All right, so if I just signed test, which is a series of questions, so if I just signed test, I have, then I would just say that I have a test today. That's what that would have interpreted as. But in order to take it off now time, I have to do what first? Okay, I have to sign the time first. So I would say next week, and then I have to give you the context of what is being said. So the next thing I would sign is what? I would say next week, my eyebrows would be up to introduce a topic. I would say test, and then I would functionalize what was going on with the test. So I would say I have, okay? So if I was to say I have a test next week and then I have to go to work the next day, how could I sign that? So okay, so you have to set up your time, your context, and then you can shape what you want your context to be for it to be understood. All right. So let's practice that with another thing. So if I have to go to the store every month, I go to the store and pick up breakfast food. Okay. So I would sign okay. So what did I do in that sentence? Let's break that down. So I started off with monthly, and then I signed store. This is store. So monthly, store, and then I signed I. This is a reference to me, and I go to that store. Then what do I do in that store? So I set up all of my context. What am I doing in that store? Well, I'm grocery shopping. So I started taking things off the shelf and I started putting it in my buggy. All right, and then I gave you a descriptor. I said food, morning, which implemented breakfast. So once again, all your context, then shape what your context is. Okay, so let's talk about homework this week. So what I want you to do for your homework is I want you to describe to me you going to the grocery store. Hopefully you shop. All right, and I know right now it's kind of crazy going to the grocery store, and I want you to sign about that too. So I want you to set it up in telling me about how you go out and you go grocery shopping. Okay, so that's your homework assignment this week. So in sign language, once again, it's not about equating a sign to a word. It's about expressing a point. Inside that point, what are you trying to convey? You're trying to convey, were you conveying that it's frustrating right now going to the store? Are you conveying that I enjoy going to the store? Are you conveying that I have a special recipe that I like to make every other week? I like to cook for the kids. Everything is based around what are you trying to tell me and how are you trying to tell me? What are you actually trying to say? And not so much looking for the actual English words to describe it. Okay? So I'll give you a little bit of a hint with that. Okay? So if I like to go to the store, and I'll just sign it for you, and I'll say, okay, so I had a lot to say in that, and you can read this video, watch this video again, and you can try to get everything that I said. But what I took the time to say was not just the ingredients that I got, but I told you about the experience. What did I like? What happened when I went to the grocery store? All right, so that's going to be your homework for this week. I want you to describe going to the grocery store. If you don't go to the grocery store, then make it up or talk about somebody else going to the grocery store. All right, okay, so any other questions for me tonight? We're almost done. All right, any last minute questions? Anything you need to see again? Anything that was unclear? The next chapter that we're going to go over for you to go ahead and start getting prepared for is we're going to skip ahead to the at-home chapter. So not only do you have your homework of describing going to the grocery store, I also want you to read the at-home chapter, and that's page 68, and then that goes through to page 87. And that chapter is going to be very important because we're going to start introducing what's known as classifiers. And those classifiers help you structuralize your language to start making sense. Okay? So that's going to be what's going to we're going to cover next week. We do have a question here. Yeah, see you next week. Yay. Do we send homework via video? How? Yeah, it has to be via video. And you can record it on your phone and email it to connectingscienceaugusta@gmail.com. You can get creative. If you upload it on YouTube, you can send me a link. You can post it on a page on social media, and you can direct me to it. However you want to do that, but it's some kind of video that needs to be sent to me at Connecting Science Augusta, and then I can go over that. And it's important to do your homework because I can see the things that I can help you with and seeing where there might be confusion, because in class I can't see your hands, I can't see what you're doing, so I need to be able to see your homework. All right? CL, heart CL, oh, your initials maybe? Okay. All right, any other questions for me? I will upload this video onto YouTube, so you can go back to it and refer if you have any other questions. And if there's no other questions, stay safe out there. I'm enjoying doing online classes because I get to still teach, and I also get to get students that I wouldn't normally get in Augusta. So that's really fun too. All right, feel free to share it with friends. We're here to provide culture and language to the community. And once again, I hope you have a great evening. Thank you again.